Ladies and gentlemen, beloved friends and fellow travelers of this grand trembling earth, I ask you to lend me not just your ears, but the tender hollows of your heart. For what I bring to you is not merely information, not simply reflection, but the stirring of a truth too long silenced by noise. There are moments in our lives when the very marrow of existence seems to vibrate with the rhythm of something greater, something older than time, more resilient than pain, and more luminous than hope. In those moments you may have wondered, quietly and privately, perhaps fearfully, am I different? Am I called? Am I a chosen one? And I tell you now, with the clarity of rivers and the assurance of dawn, if you are asking, you have already heard the whisper. If you are listening, you are already on the path. Today I bring you 6 clear signs that mark the chosen, 6 stones laid on the trail of destiny, not to set you apart with pride, but to return you to the ancient duty of purpose. First, you will know you are chosen because you carry the burden of empathy like a second skin. You feel too much, they say. You weep at the news of strangers. You ache at the sight of suffering, and when others laugh at pain or turn away from injustice, your soul howls with a quiet rage. That is not weakness. That is the echo of generations whispering through your blood. That is the mark of one who has been entrusted with vision, who cannot unsee the sacred in the broken. Empathy is the fire that refines the chosen. It will bring you to your knees, but it will also make your voice undeniable. They may try to numb you, to shame you for caring too deeply, to pathologize your heart, but hold steady. You are not fragile, you are tuned, and the world, whether it knows it or not, needs your frequency. Then there is the sign of the exile. The chosen ones are often set apart, even in childhood. You walk into rooms and feel you've walked into storms. You are the outsider at the dinner table, the strange one in the family, the misunderstood in your circle. Isolation clings to you like a shadow, not because you are unworthy, but because the fire within you threatens to light a truth they are not yet ready to see. Loneliness does not mean you are lost. It often means you are early. Chosen ones arrive before the crowd. You blaze trails in silence. You become fluent in solitude. But do not despair in the quiet. Do not mistrust your aloneness. You are being seasoned like the soil before the rain, and when the time comes you will find your tribe, not through effort but through radiance. They will know you. They will recognize the same fire in your eyes, and the exile will end not in bitterness, but in a homecoming so sweet, the stars will pause to watch. The third sign, beloveds, is the encounter with resistance, not the petty kind, but the kind that feels like a cosmic blockade. You set your intentions, you plant your seeds, you pray until your knees are bruised, and still the door does not open. The chosen ones are not given ease. They are given pressure. Diamonds are not found in cotton. You will face opposition that seems cruel, trials that feel like punishment. But I urge you, interpret the storm not as rejection, but as preparation. There are muscles being born in you. There is wisdom being carved. Every no is chiseling your yes. Every setback is positioning you for the leap. You are not failing, you are forming. And when the breakthrough comes, and it will be because you did not curse the darkness, but learned to see with different eyes. Fourth is the fire of purpose that refuses to be silenced. You have a calling that claws at you in the middle of the night. It is not always clear. It does not come with instructions or applause, but it is there gnawing, aching, demanding. You have tried to walk away from it, haven't you? You've tried to quiet it, bury it under shoulds and musts, and all the sensible roads that make sense to everybody else. But still it burns, still it rises. That is because purpose for the chosen is not optional. It is cellular. It is etched into the bones. And until you heed it, no job, no relationship, no accolade will satisfy. You are not here to fit in. You are here to light up. You are here to disturb the comfortable. You are here to awaken the sleepy. Your calling may not be loud, but it is relentless, and it will find you again and again, until you answer with a yes that shakes the dust from your own soul. Now listen closely, For the fifth sign is the dance with suffering. The chosen ones know pain intimately. Your losses have been deep, your wounds are many, life has not spared you. But there is something peculiar about your sorrow, it transforms. You do not remain in grief, you alchemize it. You do not just survive trauma, you transmute it into compassion. You become a healing force, not in spite of your pain, but because of it. The chosen do not run from the fire, they walk through it. They bless it. They emerge not burned but branded, with the sacred marks of one who has seen death and chosen life anyway. Your suffering has not been wasted. It is the clay of your becoming, and if you let it, it will open you, not into bitterness, but into brilliance. Finally, there is the sign of vision. The chosen ones dream differently. Your imagination is not escape, it is prophecy. You see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. You feel it in your gut when something is wrong, even before it is spoken. You sense the shifts, you intuit the trends. You speak truths before they are popular. And for this you are often met with skepticism, even ridicule. But do not be dismayed. Visionaries are rarely accepted in their own time, but the world bends eventually toward those who see clearly. The gift of sight is not given to impress, it is given to guide. So dream, even when it is inconvenient. Speak even when your voice trembles. Lead, even when you'd rather follow. For yours is the task of lighthouse in the storm, not to sail every ship, but to shine so they can find their way. And now, with all the reverence I can gather, let me say this to each of you in this room, or reading these words through the invisible thread of time. If you recognize even one of these signs in yourself, do not delay your becoming. Do not wait for permission. Do not seek validation from those who were never meant to understand your path. The chosen are not chosen for status or superiority. They are chosen for service, for sacrifice, for the work of mending the frayed edges of humanity, with the threads of courage, truth, and relentless hope. You are not here by accident. You are not hearing these words by chance. There is something in you that the world desperately needs, even if the world cannot name it yet. Stand tall in your tenderness, own your otherness, celebrate your suffering, and move forward with the full knowledge that you are part of an ancient lineage. Those who rise not because they are celebrated, but because they are called. Those who love even when it hurts. Those who lead even when afraid. Those who shine, not to be seen, but to light the way. And when the day comes, as it always does, when you question again, am I truly one of them? Remember this moment. Remember these signs. And above all, remember that being chosen is not a title you claim, it is a truth you live. So live it. Live it with fire. Live it with grace. Live it so fully that even the stars pause to witness your rising. And we who see you, we who have walked through our own darkness to speak this truth aloud, we will be here, singing your name in the language of the brave, reminding you always, you were born for this. You see, being chosen does not mean you will walk an easy path. It does not mean the road will be smooth, or that applause will follow you wherever you go. Often, the chosen one is met with silence before praise, misunderstanding before acceptance. You will spend seasons building bridges you will never cross, planting seeds in soil that offers no immediate harvest. But you will do it still, because something in you will not allow you to leave things broken. That something is not ego, it is purpose humming in your chest, like an ancient drumbeat. The work is not glamorous, not always seen, but it is holy. You will lift others when your own hands tremble. You will speak truth when your voice quivers. You will offer peace while carrying storms. And though you may long for rest, long for ease, long to be held, still you go on, not because you are fearless, but because you are faithful. Faithful to the voice within, faithful to the higher rhythm calling you forward. And that, more than anything, is what defines the chosen, not perfection, but devotion. Many will not understand this kind of commitment. They will ask why you keep showing up when no one thanks you, why you stay soft in a world that demands armor, why you keep forgiving, keep trying, keep hoping. They will mistake your resilience for naivety. Let them question, let them talk, let them try to name what only spirit can name. You do not owe them explanation, you owe only the truth of your being. The chosen one does not fight to be understood. They live in such a way that understanding eventually finds them, and if it never does, they remain unmoved. Because your worth does not hang on another's comprehension. You were chosen by something older than human approval, something higher than human opinion. Walk in that knowledge like a crown, quiet, steady, unshakable. Some days you will feel the weight of the world pressing down on your chest like a stone. The headlines will wound you. The silence of friends will cut deeper than any blade. You will question your capacity to keep going. You will wonder if the fire was ever real. And in those moments I urge you, return to the stillness. Return to that place within you that has never changed, that has never bent, that has never bowed to fear. It is there, waiting. The chosen are not immune to despair, but they are intimate with resurrection. You will rise again and again, not because you are invincible, but because you are rooted. The storm does not break the oak. It reveals the depth of its roots. And your roots, beloved, are deep. They reach through centuries, through bloodlines, through prayers whispered in the dark by ancestors who dreamed of you before your name was spoken. You rise because they rose, and one day someone will rise because of you. There is also this: the chosen are never chosen only for themselves. Your gifts are not yours to hoard. Your voice is not yours to mute. You are here to be a mirror and a light. You are here to wake others up, to call forth the hidden greatness in them. Sometimes it will be through words, sometimes through the quiet presence of your being, sometimes simply by surviving what should have destroyed you. You are evidence, living, breathing proof that healing is possible, that purpose is real, that love can endure. You don't have to be perfect to inspire. You only have to be honest. You only have to be brave enough to keep showing up in your truth. That truth, more than any sermon or speech, will awaken something sacred in others. The chosen are not only leaders, they are reminders. And you, whether you know it yet or not, are someone's reminder right now. And yet there will be days when you wish you weren't. Days when you envy the comfort of the unawakened. When ignorance looks like freedom and ease looks like joy. On those days, remember this: the chosen one is not burdened, he is entrusted. She is not cursed, she is crowned. And while the crown may be invisible, the weight is real. That is why you must care for yourself as diligently as you care for others. Your soul is not a machine, it is a sacred instrument. Rest is not a weakness. Boundaries are not betrayal. Solitude is not abandonment. The world may try to extract from you endlessly, but you must protect your well. A dry well quenches no thirst. Fill yourself with what nourishes. Guard your spirit from what drains. This is not selfish, it is essential. Because when the chosen one is whole, the world is made more whole through them. And let us not forget, even with all this calling and purpose and fire, joy belongs to you too. You are not here just to struggle and serve. You are here to dance, to laugh, to create beauty in the face of sorrow. You are here to taste life, not merely endure it. The chosen must remember that joy is a form of resistance. It is a declaration that light still lives, even under clouds. Find what brings you alive and make it a ritual. Sing in the kitchen, write love notes to the moon, plant flowers in the middle of ruins. Celebrate your existence not because it is perfect, but because it is yours. You were chosen to bring more than change. You were chosen to bring color, to bring texture, to bring soul, and in doing so you remind the world that wholeness includes wonder. Let me tell you something else. Being chosen is not a static thing. It is not a once-and-done moment stamped on your forehead. It is a continual choosing. You must choose yourself again and again, even when the world forgets. You must choose your path, even when it is lonely. You must choose your voice, even when it shakes. The chosen one is not made in a single act of fate, but in 1,000 quiet decisions to keep going, to keep loving, to keep believing. Do not wait for someone to anoint you. Anoint yourself. Rise in your own name. Speak your own truth. Walk your own path. You were born with everything you need to begin, and if you should fall, and you will, do not mistake it for the end. The chosen ones fall with grace. They rise with wisdom. Every misstep is a lesson. Every detour a deepening. You are not meant to move in a straight line. You are meant to spiral upward, learning with every turn. Be gentle with your evolution. Honor your stumbles. They are sacred too. Growth is not always a sunrise. Sometimes it is a storm, but both are necessary for blooming. And bloom you will, even through concrete, even in drought. Your spirit is stubborn like that. It was never made to wither. So here we are, nearly at the end, though the journey is only just beginning. I leave you not with instructions but with invocation. Rise, you chosen ones. Rise in your full, radiant, imperfect, glorious humanity. Rise with your trembling hands and your bold hearts. Rise with your grief and your joy, your scars and your strength. Let the world feel you. Let the world hear you. Let the world remember you not for what you did, but for what you awakened in others. This is your task. This is your charge. Not to be better than others, but to be more fully yourself. Not to shine for recognition, but to shine because it is who you are. Not to lead for power, but to lead because you could not bear the silence. Let this be your sacred remembering. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are not mistaken. You are the dream of those who came before. You are the hope of those yet to come. You are the echo of truth, in a world still struggling to hear. You are the chosen, not for comfort, not for applause, but for purpose, for healing, for love, and the world is waiting. Yes, waiting, for the fullness of who you are. So give it to us. Give us your voice, your vision, your fire. We are ready, and so are you. There is a reason the earth groans beneath the weight of so many dreams deferred, and it is because too many chosen ones have been convinced to remain silent. They have mistaken humility for invisibility, have confused quiet obedience with peace, and they have traded their wildness for safety. But you who feel this stirring in your chest as I speak, must not do the same. You must remember that your voice is not noise, it is medicine. Your presence is not too much, it is timely. And your instincts, those inner rumblings you've been taught to distrust, are not flaws to suppress, but flames to follow. The chosen are not here to blend in. They are here to break patterns, to interrupt cycles, to disrupt the inertia of despair with the velocity of hope. And that kind of work, it cannot be done from the sidelines. It cannot be accomplished in the shadows of doubt. It requires you to stand fully, bravely, and without apology in the light of who you truly are. Do not wait until you feel ready. You will never feel fully prepared for what your soul is being called to carry. Readiness is a myth, a mirage that disappears every time you draw near. But willingness is real. Willingness is holy. Be willing to begin before the path is clear. Be willing to move before the blessing is confirmed. Be willing to trust the voice inside you that says, go, even when the map is incomplete. Because the chosen do not walk by sight. They walk by a deeper kind of knowing, the kind that comes not from the head but from the gut, the heart, the memory of the soul. You know more than you think you do. You are braver than you give yourself credit for. And you are more ready now than you will ever be later. The time to act is always now. Not when they understand, not when they applaud, not when the stars align, but now in the mess, in the uncertainty, in the rawness of the real. And if they mock you, if they laugh at your dreams or roll their eyes at your passion, bless them and keep walking. Not because you are better, but because you are bound to something deeper than their opinion. The chosen cannot afford to be distracted by small-mindedness. There is too much to do. There are lives to touch. There are systems to change. There are futures to reimagine. You do not have time to shrink. You do not have time to pretend. Every second spent dimming your light is a second someone else remains in darkness. Your courage is not just for you. It is for the many who are watching silently, hoping to find in your boldness a reason to believe in their own. You are not rising alone. You are pulling others up as you go. That is the ripple effect of the chosen. One life set on fire becomes a beacon for many. And I would be remiss if I did not tell you this. Your gifts may evolve. What you are called to now may not be what you are called to later. That is not failure. That is faithfulness in motion. The chosen are allowed to grow. They are allowed to shift, to expand, to redefine themselves over time. You are not a statue. You are a living, breathing work of art in progress. Let your calling evolve as you do. Do not box yourself in. Do not stay somewhere just because you were celebrated there once. Honor the season you are in. Trust the transformation. And if something inside you says it is time to go, time to change, time to begin again, listen. Starting over is not a sign of weakness. It is a mark of wisdom. The chosen know when to stay, and they know when to walk away. They are not loyal to comfort. They are loyal to truth. But even as you walk this ever-changing path, remember this one constant. You are never alone. You may feel alone. You may walk through stretches of silence so thick it hums, but you are not alone. All around you are others who are carrying the same fire. They may look different. They may speak different tongues. They may call God by another name, or not at all, but they are yours, your tribe, your kin in the unseen. And when you finally meet them, through work, through art, through crisis or celebration, you will know, you will feel it in your bones. These are my people. They will not flinch at your intensity. They will not be threatened by your depth. They will not try to change you. They will honor you because they have had to honor themselves. And with them you will rest. You will rise. You will remember who you are. Without question, without shame. This is why you must keep going. This is why your journey matters. Not because you are guaranteed success, but because you are guaranteed significance. Even if you never receive the reward you thought you would, the work itself is the reward. The becoming is the point. Every time you choose love over fear, you change the atmosphere. Every time you speak truth to power, you shift the energy of a room. Every time you show up with integrity in a world built on illusion, you carve a new path for others to follow. That is the legacy of the chosen. Not one of fame or fortune, but one of presence, authentic, courageous, unyielding presence. Be present. Be here. Be all in. Let your life be a testament to the quiet power of one soul, fully alive. And should the storms come, and they will, anchor yourself in this truth. You were not chosen for ease. You were chosen for impact. You were not placed here to merely pass the time. You were planted here to awaken something divine. And even if your name is never known by the masses, let the earth feel your footprints. Let the air carry your song. Let your life become a prayer answered in flesh and bone. You are the continuation of every ancestor who dared to dream, the embodiment of every hope that refused to die. You are living proof that light persists. So as I close these words and offer them like seeds into your soil, I ask only this: do not waste your wonder. Do not silence your spirit. Do not doubt your belonging. You are the chosen, and this world tender, trembling and waiting needs you. Not someday, not when you're more prepared or more polished or more perfect. Now, in your rawness, in your realness, in your reverence, come forward as you are. The world will make room. It always does for those who carry the sacred fire. And when you doubt again, and you will, return here, to this truth, to this remembering. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not mistaken. You are the right one. You are right on time. You are and have always been the chosen. Rise accordingly. And if ever you need proof, if ever you need reassurance that your life, your existence, your struggle, your brilliance has meaning, look not to the headlines or the hollowness of applause, but to the impact you have when you simply show up in truth. Look to the stranger who breathes easier because you smiled. Look to the child who saw your courage and stood a little taller. Look to the one who was silent until your voice gave them permission to speak. These are not small things. These are sacred. This is how the chosen work, not always with grandeur or spectacle, but with presence, with integrity, with the kind of subtle power that transforms not through domination but through resonance. The chosen don't force, they align, they don't need to shout. Their lives speak, and oh how they speak, with gentleness, with ferocity, with the kind of clarity that cuts through illusion and says, "This is who I am, and this is what I came to do." It must be said too that the chosen ones are not perfect. They make mistakes, they lose their way, they doubt, they grieve, they get weary. But they also return. They return to themselves. They return to their calling. They return to the work, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And in returning they remind the rest of us that strength is not in never falling but in rising without shame, in remembering that every fall is a story, every wound, a window, every scar, a symbol of a battle faced and not fled. This world is not in need of polished heroes. It is starving for honest ones, for those who lead from the middle of their becoming, for those who rise without pretending they were never broken. You, with all your mess and your magic, are what the world is hungry for, not the idea of you, the real you, the complicated, unfiltered, radiant you. You see, when you accept your place as one of the chosen, you begin to live differently. You begin to speak with more weight, move with more intention. You become a steward of energy, of influence, of vision. You don't squander time on things that drain you. You don't chase the temporary. You begin to recognize the eternal in the everyday. You find meaning in what others overlook. You cultivate depth in a culture obsessed with surface. And that depth becomes your signature. It becomes the quality that others may not be able to name, but that they feel. When you walk into a room, it shifts. When you speak, people lean in, not because you are trying to impress, but because you are anchored, because you are real. That realness is magnetic. It draws people out of hiding. It brings warmth to cold places. It softens the hard corners of those who have forgotten what truth sounds like. And though the path of the chosen is often uphill, often paved with questions and weighted with responsibility, there is also great joy in it. There is joy in knowing that you are walking in alignment with something larger than yourself. There is joy in seeing the fruit of your labor bloom in places you thought were barren. There is joy in looking back and realizing you survived what once threatened to undo you. There is joy in realizing you are no longer afraid to be seen, no longer apologizing for your light. That joy is not loud. It is not showy. It is the kind that lives in your bones, the kind that whispers, "You are on the right path." And oh, how powerful that whisper is, when the world is shouting at you to conform, to retreat, to silence your song. You must protect that joy. You must nurture it, for it is not selfish, it is sustenance. It is the fuel that allows you to keep pouring into others, without losing yourself in the process. There is something else too, something that will find you along this journey: clarity. The more you walk in your calling, the more you will begin to see with new eyes. The people, the places, the patterns you once tolerated will no longer fit. What you once excused, you'll confront. What you once chased, you'll release. That's because the chosen are not meant to stay stagnant. You are meant to evolve. You are meant to outgrow your cages. And while growth often comes with grief, grief for what no longer fits, grief for those you must leave behind, do not confuse grief with wrongness. Grief is often the cost of truth. It is the evidence that you are moving forward. Let it come. Let it cleanse. Let it teach. But do not let it anchor you in the past. You did not come this far to stay the same. You did not endure the fire only to remain ashes. You came to rise. You came to remember. You came to lead. Not because you crave power, but because you've tasted powerlessness and vowed no one else should. And yes, there will be moments when all of this feels too heavy, when the calling feels more like a burden than a gift. In those moments, I implore you, breathe. Return to what grounds you. Speak